Shalom. All praise to the Most High, Yahweh by Shem, Yahweh Shai, by Shem Dash. Double honor to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Okay, Shalom to the hopefully elect. This is your brother Atazawan Bayouth. I'm going to bring a quick lesson. Lord willing, to be quick, but also it'll be edifying, particularly the sheep out there, the new folks who are coming in and into the truth. Okay, and just to give a little background on it, hot topic of the week, was really about Romans 11 and grafting in of the scattered Israelites. Okay, and there's a group or two out there who have a different, uh, let's just say, understanding of what it means, what Romans 11 means. Okay, so I did a lesson on it. I want to say a day or two ago. I can't remember the exact name of the lesson. Um, Something to the effect of Israel was scattered and the seed is returning. I think is what I have it as the title of that lesson. The seed line is returning no matter what they look like. Something to that effect. But anyway, it was on my mind to go into the word of graft. Okay, when you read that scripture. So let's quickly go into the word graft. Okay, since that's really what seems to be a sticking point, or some might say a stumbling block to others who can't get it. Okay, but for those of us who are in the truth 100%, we understand what the Apostle Paul was talking about. Okay, so let's get this word quickly. Okay, so this is the word graft, right? So let me go up some, and we'll listen to
Graft.
okay, noun. Okay, it says first definition of graft, plant. Then it says scion, the point of insertion of a scion upon a stock. Okay, when you graft in something, you take two different plants, okay, and you mend them together. You could do it by taping or by using a string to hold those branches together. Now it has to be the same plant. Okay, you can't graft a olive tree, let's just say, since that's the topic, and use an oak tree and think you're going to get something out of it. Okay, it has to be the same plant. Sometimes you have a plant that, let's say you had two trees and one wasn't faring so well and one was doing well. Well, you know, you want to save or produce more fruit maybe. I'm not a nursery person, so I'm not all that familiar with it, but you can cut off the one that's not doing so well, a branch of it, and graft it in to the one that is doing well, and that will save it. You see, something to that effect. All right. So then in the second definition, it says the act of grafting. It says something grafted, living tissue. We're not talking about humans here. Um, okay, here it says to cause a scion to unite with a stock, right? That's one piece going on to another. To join or unite as if by grafting. Let me see what else it has down here. Acquisition of gain. We ain't talking about that. Here you see this picture right here. See, two different branches, right? Cut so that they would fit evenly together, and you put them together, and then they'll eventually grow together and make one. So that's what Romans 11 was going into, Paul was going into. Let's just quickly read a portion of it. You can go there and read it yourself. And we'll just jump down here to verse 16. And it says, for if the first fruit be holy, the lump is also holy. And if the root be holy, so are the branches. And if some of the branches be broken off, and though it's like it, and thou being a wild olive tree were grafted in among them, and with them partakes of the root and fatness of the olive tree. Boast not against the branches, right? Don't talk against those that may not know that they're the Israelites and who want to come back. Okay, talking to those who what a Jew. Remember, this is about the Jew and the Greek, so to speak. Okay, for not having to go all the way into it. Boast not against the branches, but if thou boast not the root, but the root thee. Thou wilt say then, the branches are broken off that I might be grafted in. Well, because of unbelief, they were broken off. And thou standest by faith, be not high minded, but fear. For if the Most High spared not the natural branches, take heed lest he also spare not thee. Behold, therefore, the goodness and the severity of the severity of the Most High on them which fell, severity, but toward thee goodness, if thou continue in his goodness, otherwise thou also shall be cut off. Right. In other words, don't get so proud because you somehow, let's say, you maintained your part of heritage to what you know, and then there are others who are making their way back or being preached to come back, even if they knew that they were and left and were going to come back. You see, don't get so proud against them. They're still your brothers, sisters included, but you get the point. All right. Verse 23, and they also, if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in. Right. If they return, okay, and leave their wicked ways and come back, the Most High will graft them back in. For the Most High is able to graft them in what? Again. You see? For if thou were cut out of the olive tree, which is wild by nature, and were grafted contrary to nature into a good olive tree, how much more shall these, which be the natural branches? Right, they are already Israelites. You see? They're the natural branches. They've just been broken off, okay, and ready to be grafted back in. Be grafted into what? Their own olive tree, coming back into their own nation, their own, their own nation. Let's just say it like that, okay? Coming back into the fold, if you will. All right, so let's go. And so what this is right here, let's go to this. Paul used what? An analogy. He gave them something to think about, all right? Gave them something natural to put into their minds, okay, for an understanding, okay? This is the online etymology dictionary, and let me see if I can get right to it. Yeah. Analogize or analogize, explain by analogy, exhibit resemblance between, okay, given a comparison, in other words, okay, it says, let me see, or else from French, analogize, or something like that. Well, you can see it. To reckon, sum up, calculate, consider, okay, suits form, but not the sense, okay. But anyway, you could get the point that Paul gave them an analogy. All right, let's go over to Google Dictionary and let's listen to what it says.
Analogy.
Okay.
Analogy.
And here it says a comparison between two things, right? Typically for the purpose of explanation or clarification. An analogy between the workings of nature and those of human societies. All right, just giving you an example. All right, a correspondence or partial similarity, a thing which is comparable to something else in significant respects. You see, so when you're looking at that, that's Paul's analogy to the Israelites in Rome of how those that fell off can come back and be grafted back into their own olive tree. You see, it's not real hard to understand, but there's some out there who's making this difficult for no reason. So we go to Jeremiah 11 and just look at 14 on down to 17 is all I'm going to grab, okay? Because the point is made. You know, Paul used an analogy, and grafted is the definition of taking one from and grafting it into another to make another a whole one, okay? One part A, one part B makes a whole one, okay? Jeremiah 11 and 14, therefore pray not thou for this people, neither lift up a cry or prayer for them, for I will not hear them in the time that they cry unto me for their trouble. What hath my beloved to do in mine house, seeing she hath wrought lewdness with many, and the holy flesh is passed from thee? When thou doest evil, then thou rejoicest. Now, yeah, talking about Jerusalem or Israel altogether, going into wickedness. Okay, and the Lord is mad. You know, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua was mad during the time here with Jeremiah, telling Jeremiah not to pray for him. Okay, verse 16, the Lord Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua, called thy name what? A green olive tree. See, so that's what Israel is likened to, that green olive tree, fair and of goodly fruit, with the noise of a great tumult he hath kindled fire upon it, and the branches of it are what? Broken. You just heard Paul say the same thing. If the branches be broken, see, let's see here, Salakia. I need to go back up. Yeah, see, here he says in 21, for if God the Most High spared not the natural branches, take heed lest he also spare not thee. So that's what it's referring to. Us being wicked going off, and then now at this time being able to come back. Okay, Salakia. So let me finish this up. Verse 17, for the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua of hosts, that planted thee, hath pronounced evil against thee for the evil of the house of Israel and of the house of Judah, right? Both kingdoms, northern and southern, which they have done against themselves to provoke me to anger in offering incense unto Baal. You see? So, during the prophets' times, Israel did the same thing. And during the times of Paul, okay, Paul was getting those converts, new believers, who some, I would imagine, already knew who they were, and they went off anyway, and were being preached to and were desiring, let's say, to come back. And then you had those who figured that they were righteous already and that they didn't want to accept them back. You see? And Paul is telling them, no, you can't be that way, you know. The Lord could do something to you and make you fall off. You see? So let's go to, let's see this. Okay, let's read this. This is grafting and butter nursery crop plants. And this is just by nature, okay? If you can understand this. It's part of the analogy, all right? And let's just read this highlighted part here. It says, although budding is considered a modern art and science, grafting is not new. The practice of grafting can be traced back 4,000 years to ancient China and Mesopotamia. As early as 2,000 years ago, people recognized the incompatibility problems that may occur when grafting olives and other fruiting trees. Okay? Then it goes on, let me see here. Since grafting and budding are asexual or vegetative methods of propagation, the new plant that grows from the scion or bud will be exactly like the plant it came from. See? And that's when you put it back in Paul's analogy, those that went off, they'll come back and they're exactly who they were. Okay? These methods of plant reproduction are usually chosen because cutting from the desired plant root poorly or not at all. Also, these methods give the plant a certain characteristic of the rootstock. Yeah, it comes back to its purity. It's getting all its nourishment now. Okay? For example, hardness, drought tolerance, or disease resistance, since both methods are required extensive knowledge of nursery crop species and their compatibility. Grafting and budding are two techniques that are usually practiced by only by more experienced nursery operators. Okay, but you get the point, right? So the plant becomes nurtured and comes back, or it regains, its identity and is nurtured up. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to go on that quickly. Since that was the flavor of the week. Okay, with the grafting, here you see different images of what grafting looks like in a natural sense with a plant, Slakia. I don't know if it's going to show it. Yeah, you see, you can take something off, and then you can add this in, and then you tie it up, okay, and then it'll grow right into the plant. See, so that's the analogy that the Apostle Paul was using to try to edify those folks back then. Okay, so it's all talking about Israel. Okay, coming back. All right, Lord willing, that was edifying to anybody that watches the video. I give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem B'Kak. Double honor to the apostles and elders, a great millstone for teaching this truth all around the earth. And to all the brothers out there who's pushing this word in truth and sincerity, I say to you all, Shalom. I'll see you on the next video. Shalom.